Hey there, everybody. This is Andre from the Eaglesoft Field Guide. I had a question that came in through a instant message, and I figured it was a good time to answer the question. Somebody asked me, I made a comment that I use my chart, the odontograph in Eaglesoft, as like a GPS. I use it as a way to be able to get into the software, to be able to see everything I need to see from one screen. So I wanted to go through that with you and let you know how I'm able to do that. For one, I look at the chart a little different than most people do. So let's give you a little bit of information about how I do that. So for one, in dental school or assisting school, we used a blue and red pencil. And this is what our charts would typically look like. And the red represented the things that needed to be done or problems, and the blue represented things that have been done in the past. The problem with this is, as an initial exam, it was fine, but over time this got muddy. It also got to be difficult to understand. Now, some people might argue with me to say that they very much understood this chart. I never did. I came from outside of dentistry, and my goal was to teach patients how to understand this so that they got involved in care. So I wanted to take this to the next step. So what I did was I looked at Eaglesoft and I thought, okay, how can we interpret the charting in a different way using colors when we have so many choices? So in Eaglesoft, we have existing, defective, conditions. Conditions in LP means conditions no longer present. We have proposed, completed. We have watches, referred, walkout, and rejected. These are found under File, Preference, and using the Chart tab. Now, what I want you to see is the colors that you see over there pretty much represent what we had with a red pencil. The only difference would be in watches. Typically, I go in offices, and I've been in thousands of dental practices who have Eaglesoft, and what I can tell you is most have them set up this way, or if they have any other colors, they're typically not using those other colors. Did you even know that defective or condition no longer present even existed? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how those things work, and I'm going to show you how I utilize more colors to represent the things that we do in the office. So first of all, these are the colors that are typically shown in offices, and these are the colors I typically set up in offices. So if you ever go into any office that I've set up or any office that uses the methodologies that I talk about, you're going to see this: existing as battleship gray, defective as hot pink, condition as orange. Condition no longer present is a bluish gray, which is kind of like a radiopathic color, and you'll see that when you see it in my chart. Proposed, I use green because in my world, green means go. Green also means money. Then I use blue for completed, just as an homage back to our pencil. Then watches I do completely different, so you'll see my watch is a little different, but I continue to use the watch like most offices do in yellow. Referred I have in brown. Walkout is in black, and rejected is in red. So let's take a look at how those look in a dental chart. So we have existing that is defective, conditions, proposed that are rejected, proposed that are referred, and then we have completed services. So let's take a look. Here's my existing. So here's an existing crown, and I use gray just like I would if it's a battleship that everything is fine. And then if that existing service is defective, I color it as hot pink. That's what the things at TJ Maxx when they go on clearance look like. Then conditions, I color orange because for me, a condition is like a cone along the side of the road. What it tells me is there's something I should look at, but not necessarily a problem. An impacted wisdom tooth could be there forever, but an abscess is something we need to look at and find out what's going on with that. Proposed, again, I use green because green means go. Green also means money. All right. For my proposed but rejected, I use brown. So you can see here's an implant that is proposed. All right, but I'm sorry. Now let's take a look at what that looks like in the chart and what it looks like on the odontograph. So we have existing that is defective, we have conditions, we have proposed that are referred, we have proposed that is rejected, and then we have completed services. So my existing services are battleship gray. Easy. All things are calm, it's done, it's fine, nothing's wrong with it. Then I have existing services that are defective. And I color those as hot pink because that's what it looks like when they put something on clearance at TJ Maxx. Then I have conditions. Conditions, think about this. It's like a cone along the side of the road. It lets me know that there's something going on there, but not necessarily a problem. The reason I color it that way is because an impacted wisdom tooth is a condition that could be there forever. All right, but an abscess is a condition that we might need to address. All right, and I'll show you what that looks like in a chart. Then I use proposed as green, like I said, because green means go or green means money. Then those proposed services that are referred out, I chart as brown. So you can see an implant that is referred, an implant with a custom abutment that the office is still going to be doing, so that's green, and then an implant with a custom abutment and a crown. So you can see this lets me know what things have been done. I use brown because brown is crap I'm not going to do. Easy enough to remember. All right. Then for proposed that somebody says I'm not going to get done, that I chart as red. Red in my chart means stop. All right. And the last color would be completed. And again, just like our pencil, I use our blue. So I'm going to actually show you what that looks like in our chart. Okay, so now we're in the chart and I'm going to open up a patient's chart. And I'm going to put these teeth back on here that I took off. And let's go through some charting. So again, let's talk about from top to bottom. Let's talk conditions. And I'm going to go to my condition of impaction. Now, that's what it looks like. Let's do a impaction that we're going to then refer out for extraction. So I'm going to go over here to my extraction. I'm going to hit the drop down here and I'm going to find my extraction referred. Now you can see I have a custom service code that I created for my referrals. All right. And I'm going to propose that, but refer it out. See that brown line that goes through the tooth? That lets me know that that is a referred extraction. Now let's take one and let's propose it, but let's leave it proposed so you can see that we're doing it here in the office. Now let's do an existing extraction. Existing extraction. All right. And then let's do an extraction that is for orthodontic reasons. Existing orthodontic extraction. There we go. Notice those lines let me know that that tooth, the space has been closed for that teeth, that tooth. And then let's do another missing tooth, but let's do this as a congenitally missing tooth. Notice the difference. All right. So we have an impaction that's referred for extraction. We have an extraction that the office is going to do. We have an existing extraction, we have an existing orthodontic extraction, and we have a congenitally missing tooth. So the same way to show that the tooth is missing or gone, but I can clearly see that this person was never born with this tooth. This tooth was was taken out for reasons to make space for orthodontics. This tooth was taken out or exfoliated by the patient. This tooth the office is going to extract. This tooth, a referral will be extracting, and this tooth is impacted, and at the moment, nothing else to be done with it. So that gives you a general idea of what those colors let me know about what's going on with the chart. Hopefully that helps, and there's a lot more information on the Eaglesoft Field Guide about charting. These are the combination of the colors and custom draw types allow you to better see what's going on here. Now, I'm going to close this chart and open up another patient so we can talk about, again, my GPS methods. So I'm going to click down here. And if you didn't know that this is a backdoor to get to other patients, I'm going to go to another patient and open that patient up. Now, I'm not going to save his charting. Now, remember the days of MapQuest when we had paper that we printed off in order to be able to see directions. Now, think about this. We don't do that anymore. Now we have information directly in front of us, either on our cell phones or a GPS built into the car's dashboard, but we immediately see where we're going. And this screen allows me to do just that. So if I take my chart and I open it up, I can see right here, this patient has a hearing problem, a hearing impairment. All right, this patient is overdue for bite wings as well as for their full series. There is a private memo I should read. They have Blue Shield. They're on a 3-month recall, but they're overdue for their prophy. There is a treatment plan outstanding that's over whatever dollar figure you have in your office. There's also referred services that are still uncompleted, and we have not confirmed their eligibility yet. So those icons on the side are IntelliCares and or medical history alerts, but they let me know a lot about the patient without having to do a lot of reading. Now, when it goes to my chart, here is that referred extraction. I can tell it's still referred because it's still brown. If that patient has had that tooth extracted, I would expect my admin staff to have gone in here and marked that as an existing extraction. And by clicking on the tooth, I would also expect to see the letter from the oral surgeon that it's been done. Here's the referral when I sent that extraction out to the referral. There it is. So immediately, I don't need to leave my chart. Again, I don't need to look down at an old MapQuest printout. I can go right to my chart and see that this tooth has been referred for extraction, but chronologically from the top, I can tell that I don't have a letter back from the oral surgeon that says it's been done. Same thing with this tooth. We see that there's an implant that the oral surgeon was supposed to place, but what kind of implant is it? Well, let's see. If it's been completed, I should have there a picture of the implant bottle from the oral surgeon, or if we're doing it, I can actually see that implant bottle, so I can tell immediately that's a Brannemark 3.3. All right, I can see the implant custom abutment label there. All right, I can see anything I need to see without leaving the screen. And here is a predetermination that went out to the insurance company. So right from this chart, I can quickly see what's going on without having to do a lot of digging around in my records. I don't use SmartDoc for anything that would require my doctors to be smarter. All right, I want my doctors to look at this screen and not have to look around. All right, the same way, if you notice this yellow bar, which is what most people use for a watch, you right click, you add a watch, and I'm going to view this watch, and I can see that this is a mesial incisal problem. I'm watching the mesial incisal on this. Well, okay. I can see this immediately that this is a mesial incisal watch. And because I've made that a condition, all right, I can actually go in and be as detailed as I want to be about what I'm watching. All right. So same exact issues on those teeth, but I can see based on just the drawing instead of having to read notes. All right. Same thing here. You can see I have a mesial occlusal watch on 13. All right. And how about this? Remember what I told you about hot pink in my office? So I can see that this tooth has got an existing crown that is defective with a buildup and a root canal. All right. Why is it that this tooth hasn't been proposed for a new crown? Well, let's dig deeper. I'm going to go down here to show what. And here's a feature that most people don't even know exists. I'm going to include perio in this chart. So I want to see the soft tissue superimposed on the hard tissue. And I don't want to see pockets, and I don't want to see bleedings and suppuration, but I want to see the gingival margin and the mucogingival junction in this chart. Now you see the overlay. Can you see this big periodontal defect that's going on there? Imagine, for the sake of this demo, that this patient is 90 years old and they have a crown there, but the porcelain's off of that crown, but it's serviceable. And at this time in the patient's life, it's not really a priority to replace that crown. Maybe that tooth will last them for the rest of their life. Maybe it's just cosmetically not a great looking crown, but I can see immediately why I'm not replacing it. Heck, that tooth is, it's denuded. There's furcation involvement there. So I can quickly see with more information, the more we layer, the more we have custom draw types, the more we have more information on the screen, so that I don't need to look down to a piece of paper like we did with MapQuest. This is a modern GPS. And I hope that information helps you. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me through the Facebook group. And thank you for being a member of the group.